Welcome back to Any Percent, the only podcast about time traveling ninjas. My name is Evan Sampson, and I am joined, as per usual, by my two lovely co-hosts, Casper Karen.
Hey guys.
Kody Mosley.
Hey Evan, what's up?
What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is episode 16. Let's jump in. What do you guys been gaming on? Kody can go first today.
Not much. So I've been playing a lot of multiplayer games. I'm kind of put Returnal down, put it on the back burner, you know?
Yeah.
I just get so tired with that game, dude. I could play like one run at night and I'm like, Jesus, I gotta go to bed now, you know, it's bedtime. So yeah, I'm just kind of back on my bullshit, as the kids say. Playing like,
what are you playing? Valorant?
Yeah, just like Valorant. Not having a good time with that. Overwatch, not having a good time with that. Apex Legends though, so maybe this is actually like positive, right? Apex Legends just started like a new season, and I'd fallen off it hard. Like me and Casper and Christian, co-host of Any Percent Movies, check it out. We played like when it first came out, Apex Legends, like all the time. But we kind of fell off really hard. But I think right now it hit its peak like player count of all time. So they've just been chugging along this, past I don't know, maybe 2 years now, Casper.
Yeah, it's like 2 years.
Yeah, so they just had a new game mode come out where it's like 3v3, last one standing wins the round. You got to win by 2, and it's kind of like got an economy system similar to CS:GO or Valorant. So it's actually pretty interesting. I guess it's pretty similar to like Call of Duty 2v2s or like the Gulag, you know. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. It kind of spices up the game. Once you do a couple rounds of that, then you can play a couple rounds of the Battle Royale mode. And I feel like enough has changed since I started playing it that it's, it feels like almost like a new game, sort of. So
nice. Maybe I should jump back in.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. So Casper, since we've played, I think it's been like 8 or something.
Oh really? Oh wow.
Yeah, I guess they put them out like every 3 months or 2 months or so.
Okay.
So there's a lot of new characters. There's more than one map now. More guns, and I feel like the fundamentals of why people like Apex is how it feels, right? It's gunplay. That's still been the same. You don't
it's
think
all
so?
about the sliding. No, it's
Dude,
all about the sliding.
Right,
That
so
is
like
the 100% the best part of
the
that
movement
game.
system. Yeah,
Can
absolutely.
you wall run in that? Or I don't remember.
You
No,
can't.
you can't. Unless they've added it in the last year.
Is there a
you
character
can't.
that can wall run? I don't know.
You can wall run in
Titanfall.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So yeah,
Why they didn't add that?
Yeah, I maybe a character will come out that can do that. Also, they can always add mechs. I don't know if that's in the cards, but
that would be
weird.
crazy if they added Titans.
Right.
The thing that was annoying with Titanfall, which was like a super optimal strategy, was to run around with like C4 or with the auto aim pistol, where you just like line as long as someone's on your screen, you shoot at them.
Yeah.
And then you just wall run nearby them because they're holding a regular gun trying to like shoot a fly
So
off the wall.
You just like
And you
going
just
up and
blow
down,
them up or like riddle them full of bullets. So I can see why they for this arguably more competitive thing, a thing they probably want to be more like an esport, why they would not have wall running in it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Well,
see though.
They don't have the auto pistol in this one, do they?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised
But-
they even added that in Titanfall 2 for online.
Fucking A, is that annoying?
It makes
God
sense when
damn
you're
it.
shooting, like if you're shooting the AI characters on the enemy team, but when you're facing like another person, like, come on.
Yeah,
I don't know about
yeah,
that.
it's really good. If you're just moving around a lot, it's really good. I mean, that being said, I'm the guy who used to play Lucio in Overwatch and just
nice.
wall ride around the circles, in circles, just fucking shooting people. It was awesome.
Feels good, dude. Feels good, yeah.
Man, I used to love Overwatch. I don't play it anymore at all.
Same.
So Kody, that's it for multiplayer games, just Valorant
Yeah, that's
and
pretty much it.
Apex. Nice.
Yep.
Nice. All right, Casper, what's up, dog?
Not much since last time. I'm still playing Bravely Default, just
Nice.
in the background of all the other stuff. It's weird compared to the first one because the first one, it had a lot of different job systems. So like, it had the classic Final Fantasy job systems like warrior, white mage, red mage, black mage, all that stuff. And then it had like a few weird ones. Like I think there was a vampire in the first one. That was like a job class. But in this one, all the original job classes are like optional. So like you do side stories, and then when you get to the end of the side story, you pick a person to fight, and whoever you fight, you get their job class, and they're all like the classic ones. Like the first one was either you choose between fighting the red mage or the guy who is a thief. So you have to pick one. You don't actually get both in the game.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. And all
Because you would want them all, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I kind of don't like. I mean, it's not a big deal because for the main story, it seems like they added just like a bunch of different ones. Like there's instead of like white mage, which I think there still is somewhere in the game, but instead of that, you first get priest,
Right.
which does similar stuff, but it's kind of different.
So
but,
there's
Kieran.
like there's a similar role for that maps to each of those original roles, but if you really want to play the OG role, you have to go and like unlock it.
But you can only get some of them. But it is cool that they change it. Like, you get like War Master or something like that for the first one, where you like can triple wield.
You're George Bush. Oh
Triple
yeah,
wield? How
Yeah,
does
so
that
you can-
work?
it's in your press between your balls.
Yeah,
Use
like-
your balls as like a kind of 2-digit hand, and you squeeze your balls together.
How does that even?
Anyway,
How does that
So-
look? Is there any character art that shows someone triple
Yeah.
wielding?
So what happens is you get the both hands, and then you replace your helmet slot with another sword, and it's just like on their head.
So
So they're just like
that's
swinging
fucking
around.
awesome. That's
So-
so awesome.
that's like, I don't know. I saw this YouTube video of this guy who made like a gun hat, and he controls it with his mouth. So that's what it reminds me of. But it's a sword. You're saying it's a sword?
Yeah. Well, I think you could put anything. You could put like a bow on it. I think on your head, yeah, like any kind of weapon.
That's sick.
How
Trying
to
to think
work
what
with a
other-
sword? Like, how is that practical?
I have no
Dude.
clue. There's,
Swinging your neck, dude. Like,
I think I just got one that's
Oh,
like
I
the
got a fucking
astrologist.
crick in my neck, dude. Fucking Christ, Bob. Ah.
So pretty much like every boss in the game, they have something called like the asterisk, and that's like the job class. After you beat them,
Okay.
you get the job. There's one boss, it's a catmancer. I haven't fought them yet. I think they're the next boss, so I'm assuming you do something with cats.
like you control cats?
I'm guessing. I don't know. I haven't gotten there just yet, but I'm
You
pretty
get
sure.
like a cat like Megazord type thing where you're like an exosuit made of cats.
That would be cool.
Like,
I
you
would
just walk
hope so.
around, yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Not much.
Not a lot of time for games. Sounds
Yeah.
like nice. What have I been doing? Returnal still. I am in the 6th biome.
Whoa.
Mm.
I don't want to give away too much because Kody's still playing it, and it's still plenty new. But the jump from, I will say that the game is divided kind of into, there's like a kind of a 2-act thing going on.
Yeah.
And things kind of change at one point and get different. I'm trying not to say too much. If you know, though, listeners, you know the way they do the jump from the first to the second act narratively was like really cool. And I'm excited to talk about it when the game is a little bit older and Kody has gotten to the part I'm talking about. But it's really cool, suffice to say. Really loving the way they're working the narrative into the roguelike structure. Like, everyone compares that to Hades because Hades is like the first game, at least I'd ever played, that like actually made an attempt to have the roguelike nature be a narrative element. And I'd say I give way more of a shit about this story than I give about Hades' story. And it's not to say that Hades has a bad story. I think Hades' gameplay just outshines the story so much that I don't pay attention.
Right.
So that kind of brings up there's like this discussion around Returnal where people actually really like the story. They like the sci-fi setting, right? They like how dark and grim it is. But if you look at like the trophies, for example, right? Just people, it's like they're falling off a cliff when it comes to like the getting out of the first biome or the second biome. So like people aren't experiencing that back half of the game. And I think one of the devs came out and did an interview and he was like, "Oh yeah, we at one point we were kind of at like a crossroads where we were gonna have the roguelike game mode, game mode. It's the full game now, but at one point it was just the side game mode, while they were gonna do a more narrative, story. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting because, they've obviously put a lot of hard work into the story, the lore, kind of building this world, and just not a lot of people are experiencing it.
Yeah, I mean, it asks a lot of you. It's like probably the hardest roguelike that I've played.
I was gonna say, do you guys think it's too hard for most people, like just a casual gamer, to actually beat?
Yeah, so two
for
things
sure.
I'll say. One, like mechanically, it's pretty hard because like it's a third-person bullet hell. There's not like a lot of
You can't see
similar
stuff
games
behind you. You know what I mean?
Can't see shit behind you. Yeah, that's definitely a problem. But like, it's a mashup of two genres that's like pretty uncommon. I would say. Like I've played, the only similar game I've played is Tower of Guns and Mother Gunship, which are by the same dev made both of those games, but not the same guy that made Returnal. Yeah. Okay. And those are like first person shooter bullet hells. So some of those skills have transferred of like navigating all these pellets coming at me.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think for people, on a controller, it's like they got a PS5 and they're just like, I want a game on my PS5. It might be too much to ask. Yeah. I will also say the random nature of it is one of the more unforgiving parts of these type of games.
Absolutely.
In games like this, like it can really, you can just get fucked. Like, I mean, and like there's nothing you can do.
Yeah. The random nature of this game is really, I think, hurts the game in a lot of ways. Because sometimes I'll start a run and the first couple drops, I'm like, this is shit. This ain't going anywhere. Restart the run immediately, right? And also, and we've talked about this to death, but the runs are so long. They're so goddamn long, right? So once you finish one, you're not incentivized to go back in. As opposed to Hades, dude, you can just do Hades runs over and over and over again, right? So yeah, I don't know. I think it's super interesting when the PS5 comes out and Demon Souls and this are kind of the first, tentpole.
I know,
games on the console, like PS5 exclusive, right? And they're so fucking hard. And like, if you're a person who's excited, you just got your PS5, boot up the store. What do they got, right? So I imagine a lot of people just bought Returnal because it's, quite frankly, it's not like a ton to play, that are new. Yeah. And they're just like, what the fuck? So
yeah, it's rough out there for a player, like it's tough. So I don't know if I would recommend this game to like the average gamer. Not to say that I am some kind of like elite gamer, because I've beaten almost all the Dark Souls games. But like it's just hard, and I hope that they'll add some kind of accessibility stuff, because I haven't really looked, but I don't think there's any. And I will say, like, one of the hardest parts of the game is the fact color represents like so much in that game. So for like a colorblind person, it could be really, really hard to play. And it's just, the game's really, especially the first biome, is just so dark and so hard to see.
Yep.
It does get, I think every biome after that is significantly brighter, but that's some bullshit. It's really hard at the beginning. But yeah, so that's my current review of Returnal. I'm still playing it. I'll probably play a run after this podcast. I'm in the middle of the run, actually, that's on the 6th biome. I'm hoping I'm hoping that Liz doesn't turn the PlayStation off. Dude, fingers crossed.
That's so crazy. Like even just to getting to the boss in biome 2, even that takes like almost 3 hours, right? So how long is this 6th biome run taking you?
I don't want to say. It's a secret. I'm just gonna leave it as a secret because I don't want to divulge too much information.
I see. It relates to the story, I guess. Okay.
Don't worry about it, Cody. It's
Alright.
fine, bro.
I'll get there one day.
These aren't
Maybe.
the droids you're looking for. So I think that's pretty much it though for what I've been playing.
Yep.
But I don't know if I talked about it 2 weeks ago or not, but I got into Valorant. I started playing
Whoa.
Valorant. Yeah, it's a pretty fun game. I would say it's both worse than Overwatch and Counter-Strike, but it's still fun. Like it's
Yeah, it's
like I
interesting.
enjoy it and it's fresh and new, so
Mhm.
like that's the main thing.
Yeah.
I would say like it doesn't do either what it borrows from both of those games. I think they both do better
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
without getting into it too much, but it's fun. I've got like a group of friends playing it right now. I'm like really like I'm like touch and go. Actually, I guess that's not the right phrase. I am very hibernatory. If I don't know if that's a real word, but if not, I just coined it. With playing multiplayer games, like I will play them hot and heavy for like a month, but then I'll take like 5 or 6 months off where I just don't play
Yeah.
any at all. Like I'm really a single player games guy for sure, but then
Yeah.
I start to miss my friends and I want to talk to my friends. And they're like, just hop in a voice call. And I'm like, listen, I've got major story elements going on around me. I don't want to hear your banter over Kratos trying to tell his son that, you know, he
Boy.
loves him at some point in that game. Yeah.
Boy. Yeah.
So that's where I'm at though with multiplayer right now is Valorant, and it is fun. I'm enjoying it.
You gotta queue up sometime, dude.
Yeah, I'm real trash. I'm real bad.
So that's what's funny about Valorant is I think it's like way easier than at least CS:GO. It's like way easier than CS:GO.
I would say like the meta seems like less developed because like people playing CS:GO, they're like, dude, you didn't flash
It's been static.
buttholes, you know? Like it's like I'm sorry, I didn't know there was an area called buttholes, and I was supposed to throw a frag or a flash grenade like
Yeah.
20 meters over this, you know, thatch roof house.
Yeah, because CS:GO has been static and its meta has been in place as long as the game came out. You know what I mean? But
Dust.
Yeah,
Valorant,
exactly.
they're adding new characters all the time and it's shaking everything up.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
I'm currently playing the like Australian woman with gauges because I have gauges, so I was
Sky?
like, oh yeah,
The
yeah,
healer. Yeah, nice.
right.
Yeah.
Well, she has one healing ability that I like literally never use because if you enter an encounter, you die in this game. Like I feel like I never really like get a chance to use it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just trash. That's
I'm
probably what
bad
it
at those
is.
kind of games.
Yeah.
I'm really bad.
Well, it's the other thing I will say before we get to the game for this episode is that like it totally goes against, and I'm not good at CS:GO either. Like I'll say that I've played probably like 15 or 20 hours in my life of CS:GO. I'm just trash. And it's all the years of Halo and Overwatch and these more arcade style shooters where you can run and gun, you can move and shoot, whereas in these
Yeah.
games it's
You
super
cannot.
optimal to freeze.
You have to plant and crouch
And
probably.
and
yeah.
it just goes against all my instincts to freeze,
Mhm.
and I just but that's what the other person does, and my bullets miss like crazy because I'm strafing and I die.
Yeah.
So-
Like I'm a TF2 player,
Mm.
so it's just all shooting everywhere, running.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like it's a fun game, but I don't think I'll ever be good at it.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, let's get into it. Episode 16. I think that's what I said.
17.
Episode
Yeah,
16.
yep.
You said
The
16, it's
Messenger.
17 though.
Wait, it is?
Yeah.
Cody wrote 16 in my defense on our run of show. We'll have to edit that in.
How could this have happened? Did we not do a
Can't
run a
believe-
show? Were we off by one? That's funny.
I don't know. I don't think we did a run of show for Frostpunk.
Oh, we got it
maybe did.
wrong. We got it wrong last episode too.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Let's just be off by one forever. You know? So we played The Messenger, which is a game developed by
Isn't it like
Sabotage
Games?
Studio
Okay.
and published by Devolver. We like Devolver games. I think this is at least the second one we've played on the podcast, but we have played them in our personal lives because we like Devolver. It's from 2018. You can play it on the Windows personal computer, the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, and the Xbox One. It is a action game in the vein of Ninja Gaiden, and according to these guys, eventually more like a Metroidvania type thing. Very 8-bit NES style of game. So let's get into it, fellas. What do we think? Cody, overall, what do you think of this game?
Yeah. So I first I played this game like a long time ago, maybe about a year ago on the Switch. So I started up a new save for this one, and I like it. I like it a lot.
That's great.
I like it a lot. I was trying to think. So I think when I first played it, I liked it a lot more than I did through the second playthrough.
Right.
There were, I guess I started noticing like stuff that I didn't like this time around. That maybe the first
Yeah.
time I didn't notice super a lot of those things, but
Isn't it funny how like I feel like with film it's the exact opposite, right? Like
Mm,
second time
you
you watch
pick
a
up-
movie, you're like, oh, like
Right,
that's a cool
right.
detail.
Yeah.
It's like most of the time when I play a game again, I'm like, fuck, wait, why is it like this? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
video games, I guess, just don't age as well. Okay, so Kody liked it, but maybe not as much as a previous playthrough.
Yeah,
from
yeah, for sure.
2018 when he was but a wee lad, still in college.
Grown a lot
Uh,
since then.
Casper, what do you think overall of this game?
I liked it a lot. I always like the side-scrolling type platformer games, so this is up my alley. Um, it it was fun for the most part. Sometimes it kind of felt like it dragged a bit, like as you get farther into the game, when you have to like backtrack. Because I feel like the whole game probably could have just been a side scroller.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
I'm not to the point where it is
the
not a side
Metrovania.
scroller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the Metrovania part was kind of weird. Like it definitely worked in parts, but other parts it just didn't. And I'll talk about that when we get into it more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say I like this game so far. I mean, I don't have like a lot of experience. Like I know this is I literally only know this is like Ninja Gaiden because like people said that, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what people
I
have
think
said.
there's
I didn't
some
play
jokes
Ninja Gaiden.
about it in the game too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they're like I think like right away the like shit, yeah, there is a joke where they like
Oh, with the shopkeeper,
fuck.
right? Or
yeah,
I want to
he
say
says
it's
something
just-
about like you know he doesn't say Ninja Gaiden, but he says a word that sounds like Gaiden and I don't know.
Yeah, he
They-
says like a
they-
name, I think, like John Gaiden or something like that.
Yes, or something like that. He's
Yeah.
like, these are the teachings of John Gaiden or something, and then
Yeah.
like, and then there's like the messenger is like, what are you talking about? And he's like, never mind. We just had to get over that hurdle, so we don't have to talk about it
Yeah,
again.
like someone out there understands it or something like that. Like that's
Yeah.
what the shopkeeper said.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I would say I like this game. So like the closest thing I've played to it, that I have like played most of or like a lot of is like Super Castlevania 4, which, despite having Vania in the name, is entirely a side scroller. Like it's before they started, the Vania part of Metroidvania came to be. But that's where I'm at. Like, so I'll say like that matches exactly where I'm at in the Messenger.
Yeah.
Eventually, as you guys have said, it becomes more of a open worldy thing. But
So Evan, do you know which like area you're in?
I forget the name, but I got the wingsuit and I finished the wingsuit area, and then
Okay, yeah. So you're probably
and then I stopped.
Yeah, that's like a decent amount. I don't think the game's like super long. I didn't beat it. I still
Either
haven't
time
beat it.
or for
yeah.
this.
Yeah, either
Mm.
time. Yeah, I think I'm close, but it's kind of hard to tell with the nature of the game later on. Casper,
beat
did you
it.
beat it? Okay, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Casper is like the only one on this show that beats the game. Just want to point that out.
Yeah,
He's a champ. Casper is
He's
the
the gamer.
low key MVP of any percent, dude.
I like being I don't know, I hate that feeling of like walking away from a game because if I ever go back, I have to play it all the way through again. Like,
Yeah,
It's
I-
very true.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I like usually if I put a game down, I just am not coming back. Like the thought of coming back
Yeah.
and either
Yeah.
like trying to relearn it, like where I'm at in the middle, or replaying it, both just seem like so daunting of tasks that I will refuse to do it.
Yeah, wait till
I like
wait
this,
till they re-release it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I like this game a lot, so it wasn't really hard for me to beat it. I even
Mm.
the power seals, like the little green coins.
Yeah.
Oh, did you get them all?
I got them all.
What, Casper?
Sick.
Yeah,
I
it
want to
took-
know
God.
what that unlocks.
Yeah,
Give
what's
me
in the
just dump it
chest?
on me. Let's go.
it took about 19 hours for the like all the stuff to complete.
Oh my god.
It was kind of disappointing.
That's-
It's on average, but it was kind of disappointing. It didn't really. So it unlocked. I think they call it the wind shuriken,
Okay.
and pretty much like the old shuriken, you throw it, you lose a charge. This one, you get 3 charges and you throw it and it comes back to you, but as long as you dodge it, it keeps going around. So
Okay.
it can be pretty powerful, but
So like if you were to question, like
yeah.
I throw it to the left, if I jump and it goes past and it just it reverses direction and goes back to the right,
Yeah.
all the way off the other side of the screen.
Not all the way off. It goes off for a while and then comes back. And as long as
So
you
it'll
keep
just
dodging,
keep going
yeah.
back and forth. Oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, it can do a lot of damage for
But-
good.
But at that
What?
point, you've already beaten the game, right?
Well,
In theory, like
no,
Or you're
because you
really
can
close.
get it. Yeah, you can get it before like the first, like the final boss, and I think one more boss before him.
okay.
Still
It-
though, that is
Yeah.
yeah.
it did
What do you
actually-
think? Is that like a good reward for collecting, what is it, 40 power seals or something?
Not really. It was kind of.
Yeah.
It did help for the final boss, but
Mm.
you get it at the end of the game for the most part,
Yeah.
so you can't really use it for much. And it's cool
it's
because
not-
it
Is there
recharges.
New Game Plus?
Yeah, there is New Game Plus.
Okay. So
But I think you can only take certain items. I think you take like one item. And then I
Ass
looked it up.
cheeks.
I think New Game Plus 2 or whatever, or 1, you take one item. And then New Game Plus 2, you can take another one or like another 2, and like it stacks up to like 7 or 9 times for all the items. And then
Hmm.
I don't know. I didn't like
Why-
the game,
yeah.
but I didn't
Yeah,
like it
yeah.
enough.
yeah.
So
Yeah, it seems like that's a really strange New Game Plus mechanic. Like the
Yeah.
selective
Yeah.
and like after 7 times, are you just like a beast? Like, like
I mean, everything.
Does
all
it
the
get
enemies
harder?
tougher. Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't
I wonder if
really
it's
know
like Dark
quite.
Souls, because Dark Souls you can just keep. I think you can. Well, actually, no. I think it does have an upper limit. Maybe also at 7
I don't remember.
with New
I
Game
think Dark Souls.
Pluses.
Yeah, I think Dark Souls you can keep going, but like at a certain point it just kind of caps. I think.
Yeah. Like there's just soft kind of limit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know. What's interesting though is I feel like this game, and this might be a good place to start. Is I feel like that they kind of want it's kind of built to be played multiple times, but I'm not sure a lot of people would want to do that. And by that I mean you kind of see where speedrunners would have a lot of fun with this game. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
kind of like Celeste. It kind of reminds me of where they would just be literally like zipping through, maybe dodging all the enemies, using the
There's-
rope grapple thing.
Yeah, there's a weird mechanic I noticed that if you, I think, like rope pull and do like a spin hit cloud jump thing, you can like fly forward.
Yeah, right. So I think I saw a speedrunning playthrough. It took them. Don't quote me on this, but I think it took them like 30 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah, the current world record for oh, wait, this is just for 8-bit. All right, I'm going to look at the 100 or any percent world record. The any percent world record, not to be confused with any percent the podcast, for no out of bounds on new game is 1 hour, 43 minutes and 41 seconds.
Okay, so
But if you
that's
just
pretty
play the
nuts, yeah.
8-bit part, it's 29 minutes and 29 seconds.
okay.
Yeah.
Because
Um,
when you beat the 8-bit part, there's like a kind of like a fake ending, and then you get
Mhm.
into the real game.
Yeah, that's
Or-
where it opens up into Metroid mode,
Yeah.
Metroidvania mode. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you kind of see that as you're going through in your first playthrough. Like, I don't know, once you keep dying, maybe in certain sections, and you keep, starting back at a checkpoint, you're going faster and faster, right? So I think that if you play it 7 times like a fucking madman, maybe you do just beat it in an hour. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean-
mean, you can kind of
Sorry.
tell too that there's gonna be a Metroidvania later because there's some parts you just can't get to.
Hmm.
But you can never
I was
actually go
thinking
back.
that.
Yeah.
I was like, before you guys brought that up, I was like, I didn't know it was gonna be like full Metroidvania where like I'm able to kind of go wherever,
Mhm.
but I thought maybe more like New Game Plus, I would be able to get some stuff
Yeah.
on like a second, take me all the way back to the left,
Mhm.
and I'll
Yeah.
start going to the right again from the beginning. But yeah, it's just what Kody was saying about it being like a speedrunner's game. Like I do feel like this movement in this game is like feels pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It does
right? Like
feel- yeah.
I think we should talk about the movement because I think that is for me like at least as far as I got in the game, that's like very much the high point of the whole experience. Is like it feels so good to like stick to walls and the fucking slash jumping. What is it actually called? Cloud jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so rad.
So
Is
I think,
that from Ninja Gaiden? Does anyone know? Like, or is that an original
even
idea?
know.
Because
I
that's
think-
fucking cool.
I think
don't actually
the
know.
slash to double, because I feel like games of this era, right, in the past, they give you get a double jump just naturally,
Yeah,
right?
it's just in it.
But this
right.
one is like, nah, you gotta slash this thing to get the second jump.
Yeah.
And
But
it's a third
that's-
jump and a fourth jump. I mean, it's
Right,
as long
right.
as you're slashing, you
Yeah,
keep
true.
jumping.
So I think that playing it on the Switch. So Evan, that's where you were playing it as well, right?
Yep.
Doing the slash jump kind of sucks on the Switch, dude. Because
What you want, like the accuracy of a mouse and keyboard? What are you talking about?
no, I just think that like pressing those two buttons in quick succession, I just feel like it doesn't feel good on the Switch.
What are you playing with, like the little tiny controllers?
Yeah,
You
so
mean
I
the
do.
Joy-Cons?
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
play.
Joy-Cons.
Nintendo Joy-Cons?
I pretty much play everything on the
For
Switch in
joy.
handheld mode. So you have to kind of like roll your thumb like this,
Yeah.
and it's not. And sometimes later on in the game, you have to do it like 1,000 times, right?
I just had like an image in my head of so before the show, Kody was eating Oreos and drinking soda, and I called him a
Yes.
baby because adults don't eat Oreos and drink
and
soda at the
wash you
same
down
time.
with a Dr Pepper.
And yeah, so I imagine I just had an image of you as like an iPad kid. You know,
just
like,
like,
you ever see a little kid like at a family gathering, just like like walking around on an iPad.
Yeah, eating
Kody,
Oreos.
yeah, eating Oreos, playing his Switch, and like bumping into shit. Like that's where my head is at today, guys.
Wait, so Evan, do you not? You feel like you don't have that? Like, I feel like maybe if I could remap it to something else, I don't know. I feel like
Yeah,
that'd
so
be-
my thoughts are like I don't know about remapping, but that would probably be good. I'm very used to like kind of clawing and being able to do like weird hand grips.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm trying to remember if I
tell me
actually
you
did one.
do you keep one on the slash?
No,
and
no.
one
I
on the
think
jump?
I guess I
Like-
was just pretty quick to jump. I did
Okay.
play. So I was playing it on the Switch handheld for like 45 minutes.
yeah,
And then I was like, fuck that. And so I used the Pro controller, and the buttons are much bigger and meatier. So I think
Yeah.
switching
yeah.
is just a lot easier that way.
That's
But I
probably
see
the
what you're saying. I
optimal
mean,
way
it's
to
an
do it.
awkward grip for sure. I don't think I did a claw, but it is an awkward grip.
I hate the Joy-Con controllers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This.
I mean, they
funny enough,
don't
this
feel
is,
great.
Yeah, this is kind of like the first game where I like it really stuck out to me. I was like, man, this is like for hate. Not to keep talking about Hades, but Hades, I didn't have a problem with the controller really. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's they're just. I mean, yeah. Is it the chiclet buttons that bug
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Casper?
It,
Yeah,
it's-
yeah. It's the tiny buttons. They're just, I don't know. I get like
Got these
hand
big
cramps.
man hands.
Yeah. I played with the
yeah.
Xbox controller because I played it on my PC,
yeah.
Hmm.
so
That would
I
probably
was
be
fine.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, I felt like that was the cause of at least at least a couple of my deaths was just
Yeah.
me like fucking up like the finger roll, and I'm like, God fucking damn it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I don't know if you guys got this far enough where it, because it gets harder as you get farther. It felt like at points I was just button mashing just so that I could like hit everything, just so I could get another cloud jump. Like my hand was just like all
please,
over the
God.
place. Yeah. There's so many annoying parts that were like the power seals, because they're all
Yeah.
extra challenges. Do you guys ever get to the ghosts?
You mean like
Mm-mm.
the women, like the
Yeah, they're like, I don't know, ethereal women.
yeah, you
characters.
just kill them, right? Like
Yeah, but they're not really a problem killing them, but they would use them as obstacles to like jump and get through the level.
yeah, so you have to
So-
you have to cloud jump and
Yeah, you have to cloud jump on them, like use them as,
yeah.
and it was a pain sometimes because they would be like grouped up and they like move really weird compared to where you are, and there's like a delay to like if you're up, they don't immediately go up. They kind of like you'll be falling.
Oh, I see.
And then
So
they
they're
go
like
up.
boos, right? Like in Mario, like they
Yeah.
follow you but slowly.
pretty much. And
I
it's
think-
a pain whenever they use them as platforms to jump, because there was
Yeah.
one later in the game. There's like this sky place,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and you have to use them to get through the
Yeah.
level. And there was a glitch where, as you're going through it, one would go onto the screen, and if you killed one right as this one ran onto the screen, it would die.
Oh, I see.
So you
Weird.
couldn't get past because there was only enough to get through it. So if it died, that's
Right.
it.
And that
I-
happened to you while you were playing?
That's like
That
a
happened to
weird,
me a
like,
few times.
array error or something. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
right. They're like
code.
delete ghost A, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
like delete the
Yeah.
first ghost off the stack.
So
Damn.
So yeah, so I think so. I really like the cloud jump
Yeah.
feature. I think it's pretty unique that this game kind of. I think that's really cool.
Certainly,
like, you
I've
have to
never
do
seen it.
something for your double jump, right? But yeah, like I found that kind of mechanic they lean on it pretty hard, especially like later on in certain bosses,
Yeah.
and it's just I don't know, like so it was the cause of a lot of my deaths, like I said before.
It's
I
a
don't know.
cool mechanic that if you're really good, you probably can do some amazing stuff.
You know what?
I tried to skip a part, like an elevator part in like the third level,
Mm,
and I was really close, but I messed up the last like cloud jump, and it, it
Just
didn't
fell
make
to
sense
that.
to like
Yeah,
kill myself, and it wants you to go down this pit and
Mhm.
ride an elevator back up, but I was totally like feeling like a big boss, dude, like hitting those, but
Yeah.
I'm
It's-
not. I'm just
So-
a little baby.
You can cloud jump off of almost anything, like the flames that those
Yeah.
fire guys shoot.
yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah. Once you get that ability,
Yeah.
Oh, I
so
forgot
the,
that's ability you unlock.
yeah, you have to get that, but it's like a really like good
Early.
and smart one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like another thing that I was kind of annoyed with at this game, it kind of relates to the cloud jumping, is the hitbox on stuff. It just doesn't feel super good. Like if there's like a tiny guy and he's like just too high up for you to slash. Like I want the
Yeah,
hitbox to
yeah.
be just a tad bit bigger to make it more fluid, I guess.
Yeah,
'Cause-
it's like very like Zelda 2, like
Yeah.
like just a little ding dong, little pee pee
Yeah,
size
and
thing that comes off of you.
you just like kind
Yeah.
of miss it, and you'll either get hit and you'll fall in a pit or stuff like that. I'm trying to think of. So there's later on, Evan, you'll see it if you choose to continue playing the game, where you fight a dragon, and he's shooting fireballs, and they kind of lean on this mechanic to. He's going up as he's shooting fireballs, right? And so you have to cloud jump from the fireball and keep going to get to his side of the screen to hit him. And I found myself dying on a lot because it's kind of random where he's shooting the fireballs, and if you waste your second jump and there's not a fireball close enough for you to cloud
yeah,
jump
that
off of
sounds
that.
miserable. That sounds fucking miserable.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
Are you sure that's the only way to do it? Because like, isn't the ability to hit projectiles with your sword like theoretically something you could choose not to unlock? You know?
that's why I can't remember. I don't know. Is it like one of the earlier unlocks? Like there's
It's
no way you
it's
can
like
miss
the
it, or-
it's like the first
Yeah.
one,
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
but I don't know. Is there a point in the game where you're not able to progress unless you have a later unlock? Like, like if
I
I
don't
was
know.
trying to go like for the level 0 run, like would that boss become impossible? That's just what I'm wondering right now.
I remember the
Uh,
boss, but I don't really remember how to beat him. So
You
I
sure
I
you're
don't
not just supposed to
think-
glide over there, Cody?
Definitely the ground. There's not enough like diagonal. There's not enough height to
Oh.
get over to him diagonally.
That's okay. That's the one where like he flies into the cloud, right? And it
Yeah, yeah. But
takes
then there's
it
that
away.
point where he breaks up like half of the screen, the platform you can stand on, and he's shooting
Right.
fireballs, and you have to stop that.
yeah. I don't know how
sequence
you
by
would do
hitting
that
him.
without. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know
So,
how
yeah,
you would
maybe,
do that.
Maybe no 0 level run for this game is possible then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, or
There's-
level 1, whatever you want to call it.
I mean,
like, don't
even
spec.
like later on when you're fighting the demon, Casper,
Yeah.
he has this sequence where he's high up or something, and the whole ground is fire, and you have to keep,
Yeah. But that
using-
uses the lantern, and you can hit the lanterns right away.
right.
yeah,
but
it's just the enemy projectiles that's an unlockable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so but in regards to like the hitbox and stuff, I'll use my double
Mhm.
jump, and there's not a lantern in reach, so I'm hit the ground and I'm stuck in the fire until that sequence is over. I probably take like 2 or 3 hits.
I did not like the Demon General fight.
Yeah.
That one was probably the worst boss fight for me. I hated he would like turn into the spinning platform of damage.
Yeah.
I could never. I dodged it like once, twice. It just
Yeah.
he turns into it and then flies towards you. It's like
Yeah.
I gotta say, it sounds like these bosses get pretty hard. Like the first 2 bosses, 3, however many I've done. Can't remember if it's 2 or 3, but they are like bonkers easy. Like
Yeah.
I think
sure.
like
most of them.
the sequences leading up to them were way harder than the actual boss fights.
Yeah.
I think most of them were actually fairly easy. For me, it was
Yeah.
mostly just the Demon General. He was hard, but he was like
Mm,
the first boss before the whole Metrovania thing opens up. Like he's
got
Yeah.
it.
the fake final.
Right. Hmm.
Yeah. What do you guys think of? I guess you know how this game, is obviously inspired by NES games and that kind of era, where if you leave the screen and then go back, like let's say you fall, all the monsters respawn.
Yeah.
What do you guys? Because I mean, obviously we don't need to have that in today's games.
I think
So what do you guys think about that, like mechanic?
I think he keeps that because sometimes you need enemies to be there to get to like optional objectives or pass through a
Oh,
level. But I could be wrong.
okay.
No,
I'm-
yeah, definitely. Like with the ghost
Yeah.
things you were talking about using
Yeah.
platforms.
that for sure. Yeah.
You know, I think, yeah, but I do think there's like value or like intentional design in having it because that's how games were back
Mhm.
then, like just
Hmm.
just how it was. So yeah, I don't know. I do think it's funny to see stuff come like when you're doing vertical levels and see enemies standing on the black bar at the top of my
I
screen.
do not like
Yeah.
that. I hate that.
I don't
That's
get
so-
it.
but-
That's weird.
But that's
That's-
like how games were, like, you know.
That's something
Like,
I
that's a
noticed on
very
my second
intentional
playthrough,
thing.
and I was like, it just seemed okay. If it is intentional, then okay, hats, more power to you. But I just think to me, let's say someone isn't familiar with NES
It looks
games, right?
it looks bad. I mean, it looks
makes
like
it look
shit.
unpolished, right? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks terrible. I mean,
So-
the one positive thing I will say about it, on top of it being like an aesthetic decision, is that is one more like block or whatever of space that you can like observe an incoming enemy on. You know,
that's
like
true. Yeah.
that part of it's kind of nice. You know, my field of view is enhanced. It's ugly, but it is enhanced.
I mean, it almost begs the question: why not just like, because that just proves it. Hey, the black bars are not even like a real thing. So why not just
Right.
take up the whole, switch screen? You know what I mean? I don't
Mhm.
know. But
There's no winning, Cody. There's
there's
no winning.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something earlier about the oh yeah. So like speaking of just like old design, I am so glad that pretty much right away one of the first upgrades you can unlock is the ability to not be sent fucking flying by enemies when you get hit, right? So
Yeah.
very standard of like the only other game like this that I've played, which is Castlevania. When you get hit, you are just going. Like, I can't even tell you how many times I've been playing Castlevania and a fucking floating skeleton with like a big ass tongue went to come lick my butt and just knocked me off a platform and instantly killed me.
hmm
So I think that's cool. And I think a lot of, those early upgrades kind of like undo like OG design around this stuff, like with
Right.
being able to like hit the projectiles
Mm.
and not, like get rid of them, like that makes projectiles like a significantly smaller threat. I don't know, it's just fascinating.
With the with the knockback thing, I was able to force my way through some of the power steel challenges because some of them were so tough. You had to be like perfect and just kind of like there was one. It was a wall, and you had to hit hit 2 lanterns down. But as you're on the lanterns, cloud jumping, you have to perfectly jump so that you're level with them because there's like spinning enemies around them, and there's only like little gaps for you to go through. And I
Yeah.
could not do that. You had to go down around the wall and all the way back up while they're spinning enemies. I'm just like falling through them, taking damage and doing like the recovery after you take damage.
Yeah.
Using
And
the
just-
invincibility frames. to-
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just brute forcing my way back up and through it. So
Yeah. I mean, if it works, it works. And the game, at least so far, is like, or for me. So when I say so far, I mean for me, has been like very forgiving as far as health. Like, it's crazy how many of those lanterns have health. Like, I was like fucking juiced up most of the time, dude. Like,
yeah, there's a nice rhythm to when you get health and when you don't.
yeah,
like before a
anytime
boss, they
you
always
think
set you
you
up.
might need health, you're probably about to get some.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But there's been plenty of times where I didn't need health, and I just picked it up, and it went like, and it went away. And no, I do wish like it would be not. I guess the game where I'm at doesn't have backtracking, and even if it did, the stuff respawns when you leave the room or whatever, or like if you die and come back, the lanterns, like their loot respawns too.
The lanterns.
So
when you're backtracking, the lanterns don't actually respawn until you leave the entire area.
Okay.
Like say you're in the lava area, the lanterns don't respawn until you leave the lava area.
well, I was gonna say like it would be nice to like leave them behind for later, as like an option. Like, oh, I have I think they're gourds. I think it's supposed to be a healing gourd that comes out of
Okay.
it, because
Yeah,
that's
it's some
ninja
kinda-
Japanese shit.
That makes
Like
sense.
that's
It's some kind of fruit. Yeah.
Sekiro
Right.
gourd. So I it would be cool to be able to like leave it behind and come pick it up, or like give me some kind of reward for
Like a bunch of time shards or whatever it's called.
literally anything if I pick it up and I already have full health. Speaking of that, something I want to call out to Kody really quick. This is unrelated, but to call back to Returnal, did you know if you have full health and you pick up the healing items all become the like max HP items.
Yeah. It's
Like
cool.
So you just leave if you don't feel like healing, just leave those behind. Try to heal somewhere else. Heal through surreptitious means, and then come back, and they all transform into the max HP up items. I was just wondering if
It's
you knew
cool.
that. I didn't know that
They
until like
that
a
is a
week ago.
cool switcheroo on the classic roguelike where you're just capped and you're at full health already, and it's like, what do I do with this item? So
It's awesome. I fucking love that. I think every game now that I've seen that, I just think it's the smartest design choice. I mean, you could make the argument that it could lead to someone becoming overpowered, but
the game's so
or
hard
like
that
too that game's so fucking hard. You need to do that, dude.
yeah.
Like, there's no, but anyway, sorry. All right, guys. What else? Sorry.
Something I wanted to bring up about health in that game. A design choice I didn't get was when you respawn at safe spots, they don't give you full health.
Yeah.
Yes,
really get
that's
that.
true.
Yeah. So like
Yeah,
before a boss, that doesn't matter because you always get health before a boss. But yeah, there
Yeah.
are some sections where it's like, okay, what does it give you? Like 3 or 4?
It's 3.
Yeah.
3
It's
hits.
3.
So sometimes when you're kind of in a harder section, it would be nice if
Yeah.
they gave you full health.
Yeah, I think it gives you
I think-
4 late game.
Okay.
I think the overall distribution of the health pickups makes that so it's not that big of a deal.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because the gourds give you full health, right? It's not like an integer value, right? It's just like full health.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think they do. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if I only had 1, it wouldn't take me to like 7, and if I had 2, it would take me to 8. Like, it's just fills your bar.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
so I don't think it's that big of a deal, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, I think it's like, as far as the challenging parts of the respawn mechanics in this game, which actually we don't have this in the show notes, I don't think. I would say it is the least challenging of the 2 difficulties they impose upon you when you die, which is 1, obviously, you don't start with full health. Number 2, you get this little fucker that follows you around and eats all your goodies.
Yeah.
And I want my goodies.
I forgot about him.
I think I actually don't know
Does
how
he go
much
away?
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes away
Oh,
once you
wait.
pay off your debt or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
but
yeah,
like,
but he never actually goes away.
yeah.
If you're,
He sticks
I mean,
with
I
you.
guess
He's just always there
Yeah.
watching.
I did a bunch of extras, so I guess it didn't really matter for me, but you get so much money. And it's
Yeah.
funny,
Mm.
I looked this up. I guess he patched it after the game, but people wanted a way to spend the money.
Yeah.
So he added into the shop, after you upgrade everything, a money sink. And
Oh,
in
so
order
you
to
just-
fix
Is it literally a sink? Yeah.
in order to fix it, because it's broken at first, you have to buy a money wrench from one of the other shopkeeper guys. And when you buy the money wrench, he asks you for however much money you already have. like at that moment. So I
Yeah.
had like 4,500
Oh my
coins or
God.
whatever. So he asked for that much. So I have to pay for it. And then once you fix the sink, pretty much you go into it and there's another shopkeeper type guy, and he just has like little statues that you can buy. I don't think they do anything. They're just there.
Just little,
Just
things
the-
to look at.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
It's not a bad option though for like
Yeah.
end game. Like I have extra dosh. I think it's not
Yeah,
bad.
it's like, I mean, we keep reiterating it, but games that
Are you gonna talk about Hades?
No, I'm trying not to. I have to really force myself to not talk about Hades. Well, I was just gonna say, so like NES games, right? It's like how do they handle like dying, right? How do they handle lives? You run out of continues, now you still restart the game, not like restart the full game, but
But you would have to make sure you wrote down your level code, punched in the level code, and then you can go.
But like, so even later than that, right? Like, I'm thinking of, I'm trying to think of a good example. But let's say you die and then you run out of your lives, and it's like, oh no, game over, and you just start back from where you were, but now you have like 10 lives or whatever.
Yeah, that was a weird little like band-aid
Yeah, so
time,
it's like,
like a
who-
little in-between zone.
yeah, like who gives a shit, right? There's no punishment for dying. So I think that this game handles it in an interesting way, where it's like, okay, you have to pay off your debt. I don't think it's like a lie. It's not like really noticeable at all. Like you,
No, it's not, but he's stealing my shit, guys.
Yeah.
Like it's on
Absolutely,
principle.
sure.
Like, like get the fuck out of my face.
I think there's an upgrade for him to take like 50% less or something.
I think so too. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
excellent.
So maybe you want to.
But I gotta pay for that shit. I'm paying for the criminal to steal less from me. I don't know. Like, who am I paying? Like, does he get some of that money? I'm just saying. It's all pretty shady. Shady business dealings.
We should probably talk about. You haven't gotten to this part, Evan, but once
Yeah.
you get into the Metrovania part, you jump to the future, and throughout the rest of the game, there's like time rifts, and you'll actually go back and forth between the past and the future, and it actually changes the level,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
So,
Mm.
so Casper, is this? I couldn't tell because I'm dumb, but is the switching between the different times, is that 8-bit to 16-bit?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's
I-
like NES to SNES.
Yeah,
basically.
right. So it is. So that is.
I haven't
cool,
seen it, so I'm
artistic.
looking it up. Wow, this game
it
is
looks way
fucking
better.
gorgeous in
It looks-
16 bits.
It looks cool,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
It looks
Clearly they
way
made a
better.
16-bit game first, and then they were like, "Oh, it'd be cool if it had a past part or something." Like the,
Yeah.
I mean, not to say that you can't make cool stuff in 8-bit, but and they did. It's just wow, holy shit, this is
no,
way
for
better.
sure. Yeah. So I think that it's super interesting. So I want to ask you, Casper, how long? Because you get to the end of the 8-bit part, right?
Mhm.
And how long until the end of the game? I guess it's kind of hard for you to say because you did all the time seal stuff.
Yeah, I think. Well, you do have to explore. Well, they give you a map, so you know, Evan. Like afterwards, they just give you a
Okay.
map of the entire place. And you can pretty much
Mhm.
see, like, it shows doors, and if the door
Yeah.
is empty,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you
you
know,
know. Okay.
yeah, then you kind of know. Okay, I should probably go here.
Mm.
So if you're just going from those places, it probably wouldn't take too long. It would probably take like 10 to 15 hours to beat the whole game. I would think
From that point or in total?
from that point, or in total.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I guess I'm maybe halfway through
You
because I got to the
after-
8-bit part, and I want to say maybe
Yeah.
I'm halfway into the where it switches. So I thought it was way closer to the end than I actually turns out I am.
Well, you have to
kind of
collect like 5 music notes, and they're like hidden throughout the world, and they
So
most of them.
okay,
well-
interesting.
So you have to like go back. So there's certain levels have music notes, but then there's also levels that they add
Yeah.
that have
Mm.
music notes. So like there's one of my favorites. It's a really short one, but okay, the sorry, I can't remember how you get there.
Dead
The
air.
Forsaken Temple, I think they call it. Like you guys didn't actually get there, but like you have to you're about to get there, and then you fall through a bridge into the crypt.
Yeah. Yep.
You go back, you fix the bridge, and then go to the future, and then you beat the main devil king guy,
Mm.
like the fat one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not the final boss. He's a cool boss to fight, but yeah, you kill him, you take his crown, and then you go back to like the Temple of Time, which you've got there, right, Kody?
Yeah.
Okay,
That-
you
'cause
haven't
that's
got
where
it
it
there.
switches.
Sheik is there, and you lock your spirit using the
Yeah.
Master Sword. Just remembered Cody's never played Zelda.
Yeah.
But you use that crown to go to a portal to another dimension, which is like if you failed kind of time, like Ocarina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Sick. Wait, that's sick.
yeah, and you kind of, it's really small. Like it actually doesn't, there's not a lot to it. You just kind of go through it to the end. And it's actually pretty easy until you get the music and all. I'm like, oh, this is easy. I guess I just go back now. But then this like huge thing comes out. I have no clue what it is. It's just like this scary thing, and as soon as it pops out, you're dead. Like it doesn't give you any time to react. And then when you come back, it's right there, and you have to just immediately run, or else you'll just die again. And you run back through the level while avoiding that thing.
Being chased. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool way to mix it up. Like, it's generally like in games like if you do the same kind of meta process, like get to end of level, pick up thing, like too many times in a row, it gets really stale.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Returnal does a cool thing where in one of the biomes there's just no boss. I was like ready to fight a boss, there was just no boss. Like,
Yeah.
and
So
that
it's like,
was one way to break
Whoa,
that up.
Yeah, because it like breaks the rules that the game has.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
and in
totally
Resident
about-
Evil 8, there's a part you get these items at the end of like each enemy's kind of area in the game. And there's like 4 main areas. On the third one, you've kind of established the pattern of get it at the end. On the third one, you actually get it right away, and then kind of similar to what Casper's saying, you are now like escaping instead of like conquering and receiving a reward. You've kind of stolen it and are trying to get away with it.
Right.
And it narratively and like gameplay wise, I think it's a pretty smart, generally good idea to break up these kind of bigger game pieces into different different ways to accomplish the same thing.
This
So-
game has its own where it doesn't have a boss either in the beginning. It's like the
Oh yeah,
I don't remember what it's called. It was
Yeah,
like
the
a
third-
screen
the-
place.
yeah. The third
Yeah.
area doesn't have a boss. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird. I really thought there was gonna be something, but just nope.
and everyone was saying how nice the place was the whole time. Like if you
Yeah.
talk to the shopkeeper, I say everyone. The shopkeeper's the only fucking person you can talk to, but he's like,
Yeah.
this is the nicest level in the whole game, and I hope you really enjoy hanging out here because this is easy and you suck. And
Yeah.
like he's right because there's no boss. Like
It's
pretty chill.
what do you guys think of the bosses themselves? Like, I know are there any boss fights that stand out to you, Casper, since you finished it? But before you answer, I'm gonna go first. You fight at
Not a
some point.
question.
I don't know if it's just an excuse for me to talk, which is the best. Evan, I don't know if you've gotten to this boss fight that I'm thinking of, but there's this one where you fight like these 2 like troll ogre dudes. And
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like they're like twins. Like one is like super ripped and then one is like really fat.
Oh no, the fat one though, it's his thighs are ripped. So the other
Yeah,
one,
you're right.
his
It's
top
his
half
legs
is
and
ripped.
it's yeah.
Yeah.
And one of his attacks is he takes off like his loincloth and he kind of like spins it around and then he like kind of
Wait, spins
Whoops.
what around? It is what Cody?
his loincloth.
Oh, okay.
And you can see like a little like tattoo on his ass like while he's spinning the loincloth. I don't know. That was when I first saw that. I thought that was
That boss fight was
hilarious.
cool.
dude.
That's really
Yeah.
funny. That's
That's
awesome.
like
yeah.
when the first time I saw Grown Ups, dude. I'm like, yo, this is peak comedy. This is so good.
Yeah, that boss fight was cool too because you would only fight one at a time. They would switch.
Right.
And every time they switched, they would like float up in the sky, and the buff half one would high five, and the other one would high five with his foot or whatever. They would, like,
Yeah, they would, like, clap hands and yeah.
yeah.
So that
I
boss
will say,
fight
like,
is nice.
Overall, this game, like, I think it really nails it with the writing and with like like that's not really
Yeah.
writing per se, but it's like a sight gag, so it's kind of
Oh, yeah,
writing.
yeah,
Like
for sure.
Like I think
Yeah.
it really nails it. It's really funny and fun. Like
Yeah.
and without being like I wouldn't describe it as like a comedy game, but I just say like it's just like just that little bit of humor mixed in, just I think at like the perfect level for this type of game.
Yeah.
I really, speaking of bosses, when the second boss, the like skull wizard, you see him from the back a bunch, and he's like this huge floating imposing wizard guy,
Yeah.
and then he just turns around and he's like
This tiny
like
little
2
dude.
meters or feet, not meters, that'd be huge, 2 feet tall, you know, and the
Yeah.
robe was just really long.
I like that one
the
too
staff
because
talk too.
yeah, he's like
Yeah.
the staff is like the evil one, and then once you beat that second boss, he's like, "Why are we doing this, man? Have you ever thought about like why we're being evil?"
I like that a lot in this game. In the beginning, like the past section, a lot of the bosses, they weren't even evil. They were just like all misunderstandings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like the big golem one.
Yeah,
when
he
you
was
beat
just
him.
digging.
Yeah, he's just like hanging out, and he's like, "You broke my golem," and your character's like, "You attacked first," and then you kind of just come to an understanding, like, "Sorry about that." Yeah.
Yeah, shake hands, make
Yeah.
up. It's all good. While we're on like the story stuff, kind of, I thought it was funny that the Western hero quite literally flew in from the left side of the screen, right? Like
Yeah.
the West. Like that was just like, yeah, sure, whatever. It's literally a game about going from fucking left to right.
Yeah.
Where would the Western guy come from? The left. That's where, that's where everything happens. It all goes from left to right.
Yeah.
And, like pretty, like self-aware, which we've said this game has like the humor and stuff is very self-aware. And I thought that was just really good. It's very dumb, very small, but I grinned to myself.
I like the story a lot. It's pretty cool too. I don't think I want to spoil this one. I don't know if
All
you're
right.
gonna keep playing.
I think I will. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
going on a flight this summer, and I don't have anything to play on my Switch right now other than this. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't spoil this game then. But it actually
Excellent.
gets pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah.
The writing's good, and the story is so far like, go from left to right for me, which makes sense,
Yeah.
for this. So, and the shopkeeper is another person for just like we already mentioned, like John Gaden or whatever.
Yeah.
But the self-awareness works. Like I think for some games and for some media, like this attempts to break the fourth wall can come off as like super hokey and super unfunny.
Yeah.
And I don't know the magic sauce that makes it funny or unfunny. Certainly repetitiveness or like the amount of attempting to break the fourth wall and self-referential humor probably is part of it. But I would say that this game just nails it. Like I just, I grinned. I chortled softly multiple times while playing this game. And I only played like 4 hours. I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah, it's you brought up a good point earlier where like I don't know, you don't really see a lot of sight gags in games, I guess.
Video
or I can't-
games.
Right.
Yeah.
So like there's like one point after you finish the 8-bit part where actually I don't even, it's a joke. Do you care if I spoil a joke, Evan?
No, go for it.
Yeah, so like once you're in the not 8-bit parts, you're wearing like a cool like samurai hat, right? And you go into the shopkeeper and he's like, "Yo, like that hat is super sick." And it's like, "Okay, whatever." And then you do your upgrades and walk out. Next time you go into the shop, he's wearing that hat.
That's
like-
awesome.
like,
And
it's
they
just-
don't, do they acknowledge it at all? It's better if they don't. I hope they don't.
You go in and you're like, "Yo, you're wearing my hat. You liked it so much you bought it or whatever." And the shopkeeper's like, "You didn't tell me to buy it. I got this hat on my own or whatever." So I don't know if that has something
That's
to do
less funny to me. It would have been way
Yeah,
funnier
yeah.
if you couldn't talk to him about it. Like,
with that would be
but
pretty
yeah.
good.
that's good.
So it's just little stuff like
it's-
that. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, we've come so far with like environmental storytelling as like being like such an important narrative element and arm to like telling a story, and we don't have enough sight gags. Like, you're so right. Like, we need more sight. All right, game developers, I'm looking at you. We want more sight gags in video games. We want Naked Gun level of sight gags.
How you add
please.
slapstick to video games?
yeah, definitely. Cool. The only thing we haven't really touched on from our normal thing is sound design. I think we have not a lot to say about this one.
Yeah.
My thoughts on it were, as far as the 8-bit stuff goes, which is as far as I got, was that the music was extremely repetitive and sometimes not that
yeah,
catchy.
it loops
so I
on
didn't
like a
want it stuck in my head.
15-second right, it's like a 15-second track kind of. It's like,
Which
Yeah.
is probably trying to emulate the 8-bit, how long the songs could be in 8-bit. But there's other things where they made concessions to the 8-bit, like the animations there's way too many frames per animation for a lot of
Mhm.
stuff, I think, for an 8-bit
oh
game.
yeah, I definitely
That's a
bet.
concession. Like, could we have not? I would have appreciated if they had decided to not have the looping tracks. I mean, especially the second area, because I was stuck on it for a little bit. Like, it was just like this, like beep boop, beep boop, like just
Yeah.
over and over again. Man, it
what's
was like my
funny
phone
is-
was dying or something, and like over some like guitar, and I was like, stop.
Yeah.
At some point, I kind of just played the game on mute.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
like
I
probably the way to
I
go.
played this on the couch.
You
like,
could listen. Hey, if you're listening to this right now
You could put on
and
the
playing the game at the same
podcast.
time, yeah, that's what you should be doing, listener. Play the game, listen to the podcast. You don't need the music on this one, I think.
Yeah,
At least for the NES
I
part.
didn't. Let's say I didn't lose anything by putting on mute, right? Like a lot of
Yeah.
times you don't want to put a game on mute because you want to hear, but this game, you just put it on mute, you're fine, you know.
Yeah,
I don't even know. Did enemies make noise? I don't even remember.
they do not. Nor do I think a sound is made when you hit them either.
I don't
I don't
so. I
think-
don't remember.
I think it's just totally.
I played it on mute.
I think
so
it's
don't know.
very light on sound. If there is sounds, they're very light. It's very light on sound effects.
Yeah, I
Um,
wasn't a fan of most of this, especially since I played it for so long and I had to stay in some areas for so long. It really gets annoying. I will say it's cool how seamless it transitions from the 8-bit era to the 16-bit era, because the 16-bit era does have better
so you're telling me
music.
there's a second where there's 9 bits, a second where there's 10 bits, a second where there's 11 bits, and on till 16? How is it seamless?
Well, I mean, like it's the same sound, right? Like the same music, all the notes are the same.
Yeah.
But seriously, it transitions at the same point that song is playing at.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
So yeah, there's no like hiccup or anything. And the 16-bit did usually sound better, but it's still like I would have
Wasn't
been
awesome.
fine without it. Yeah.
The composer for this game is Rainbow Dragon Eyes. No clue who that is. I just wanted to shout their insane name out as a
That is pretty crazy
like.
name.
Are
yeah.
they? I'm gonna look it up really quick. They're
Yeah.
an American singer. It says. So maybe not someone who does video game composition. They are. Let's see.
trying to think. I think bosses had sounds when you beat them,
Chiptune.
but only then.
Yeah.
It was really light on enemy sound design.
Yeah.
So this
I don't know,
person is like a chiptune artist specifically,
okay.
but
it's pretty.
which is probably why they picked this
the
person.
community,
but,
like help out the.
Yeah,
guy-
but man,
Was it a
think it
solo
was that good.
developer? Because I
I
heard
don't know.
that, but I never looked it up.
It's definitely a small team. I know I saw like some interviews with the one dude, like the main dude, but it's got to be like a smaller team for sure.
Right.
what's the studio called again?
Sabotage.
Sabotage. Looking
yeah.
at it. It's a small team. It looks like not. It's. All right, I can do quick math. They have it in a grid. 1, 2. Are they French? It looks like they're
Yeah, they are.
based on the last name
Yeah.
French.
Because-
Okay.
Yeah, when you get to the credits, all the names are French, so
Yeah.
I would assume so. If
So
it is just one guy, though, it's pretty
it's
impressive.
23 people, including like looks like in all kind of departments. Or
Okay.
no,
That's-
I don't see anybody listed as like business guys. So actually, or no, yeah, there is one person as administrative coordinator. So yeah, it's a studio of all departments included, only 23 people. So it's small, but it's bigger than a lot of indie studios, and they've actually had looks like 4 games, and I have
Okay.
never played any of them or heard of them
There's actually
before the messenger.
that's a lot bigger of a team than I thought it would be.
I take it back. It's not 4 games. It's 4 little links, but there are one's for the messenger, one's for the DLC, one's for an upcoming game, and then one is something else that's not a game.
Yeah, the DLC.
They have an upcoming
is,
game called Sea of Stars, which is an RPG.
Oh, there's another thing
Oh.
too.
Cool.
When you beat this game, it says to be continued. I really thought though it just ended. So I don't know if
Mm.
that's like a new game plus thing, Or
Well, there's
Um,
DLC for this called
yeah.
Picnic Panic,
Yeah, I remember when
which
that
is
came
probably
out.
it. It's the description for this is the messenger's epic story continues on in a summer vacation DLC full of tropical action.
okay.
That's pretty funny.
Huh.
All right,
I wonder
folks.
if that was like after, like, because they updated it a bit after the game was released. I wonder if they
Mm,
added that after.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, gentlemen, I think it's time for stamps. Does anyone else have anything they want to talk about before stamps?
No, I think
No.
we pretty much covered it.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Stamp time. I never go first. I usually put the burden on you guys. Cloud jump. That's my
Yeah.
stamp.
Love the cloud
That
jump.
is the high. Overall, for me, that's the highlight of this game. It's just a very fun and cool mechanic, and I think jumping around in this game is the funnest part of this whole game.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go next.
Yo, sorry, I was like, yeah, I'm sitting here like waiting. Sorry. Yeah. Casper, you go.
That's really good.
Makes you feel like a time traveling ninja. I got
Nice. Yep.
Jumping around with all the swagger of a time travel ninja.
Oh, I got my stamp. Ready? It's best played on mute.
Oh, that is a
Oh,
burn.
you
That's maybe the
got it.
first burn stamp. I think that's maybe the
Oh.
first burn stamp.
Yeah.
No, but I really
Oh,
like this
no,
game. It's
I hated
annoying at
Loop Hero.
points, but you hated Loop Hero sounds. You said.
No,
No,
but
I think he had a negative
Oh,
stamp for
hated
Loop
Loop
Hero.
Hero,
yeah.
But yeah, best played on mute. I like this game. It's got some annoying bits. The hitbox is annoying, but overall, it's very good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend this game.
A lot of love went into it. You can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's a good game. The opinion of the podcast is it's a good game. So, thank you, guys. We'll be right back with Casper's hour of titillation. So, we'll be right back. And we're back. Gentlemen, it is time for Casper's titillation hour. Casper, do tell. What's going on?
They have by they bunch of well, my
The
mind just
secret
went
cabal
blank.
that runs that runs the world.
Yeah. Bunch of news journalists have been talking for like at least a year about Switch like Pro rumors. So I figured we could talk about it because we all have Switches and we have opinions. So I figured that's
Me?
enough.
No. Yeah. So Kody has it up right now, I think.
Yeah.
But there's a Bloomberg article about the Switch 2, the Switch Pro, the new
Yeah.
Switch. I bet they'll call it the new Nintendo Switch.
I would
I'll
hate
just go
that.
ahead and say that.
I hope they call
They
it
probably
Super
would.
Nintendo Switch, dude. Please.
Oh, the Super Nintendo Switch would be cool, but I doubt it. But that would be
doubt it
cool.
too.
I think they're just gonna stick to the new branding that they've had for the new 3DS.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, it's only the new 3DS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. But
But then
could
there's like
just-
new Super Mario Brothers or whatever.
Yeah,
or no?
everything's.
Is
Yeah,
that
for
what the
sure.
new ones are
No.
called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
New
called
Super
new.
Mario
Yeah,
Brothers.
it's so dumb. It's so stupid that I had to double check that I didn't
Yeah.
just make that up. Right? Like it's such
No,
a
you're
dumb
good.
naming.
I think
scheme.
that. Okay, so this article, right? This article posits. That's a good word. Write that one down.
Well done, SAT word.
Posits that there could be an upgraded Switch as soon as September, which is really interesting given all like the chip shortages that everyone's been talking about, affecting
I don't
graphics
think
cards and stuff like
lightning will
that.
strike twice. I don't think I'll be able to get a PS5 and a new Switch, but we will see.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think so. I guess like maybe the best way to start this would be like, what are some of the things you guys would be looking for in a new Switch? Like, what are some of the shortcomings of the current Switch that you'd want to see upgraded?
I mean, if they could just generally make the controller less shit, like we already kind of
Yeah,
talked about,
like the
I
Joy-Cons?
mean, I know the Joy-Cons, they use the chiclet buttons because if you turn it sideways or whatever, like it needs to be a button and also a D-pad. But man, does it not work for me at all. I
So-
don't like it.
So you know what's interesting about that is that I think they kind of pigeonholed themselves into like this issue where everything's compatible, right? So like I can't see them making a new version of the Joy-Cons. Maybe a new version, but it's still gonna be the same size. Because I
Yeah.
think in their heads they're gonna be like, you're gonna have to clip it onto the old one.
Right.
So
Maybe, I don't know, because
unless it was
like
just
the
like
Switch
wireless or
Lite,
whatever,
you can't
yeah.
even the Switch Lite, you can't even take them off. They're just part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that one you can't
I
even
think
put it on the TV.
I think
Yeah.
it's all, you know, as an elite gamer, it's difficult to deal with that, but the reality of the situation, I think, is that like this is marketed towards families, not towards people that want like the finest fidelity in their button presses, you know. And the
Yeah.
really nice family part is that when you buy one controller, it's actually two controllers
yeah.
for a lot of games. Not a lot of the
Yeah.
games I play on the Switch, but you know, Mario Kart. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Do you guys think
Huh?
if they come out with the new Switch or whatever, it would be like the new 3DS where there's games that are exclusive to the
I
new
do think
Switch?
that.
I think so too.
Yes, I do think that.
Like for example, I could see the new Pokemon that they gave a release date to,
That would-
Pokemon Legends Arceus or whatever.
I think it's with a hard C. Arceus.
All right,
Maybe I'm wrong.
nerd. No, just kidding. I could see them coming out and saying like, "Yo, this is actually like a Switch Pro exclusive or whatever."
I mean,
wouldn't
like,
mind
as
Did
a
you
that.
guys
launch
see the
game.
frame rate during that trailer? That
It was
game
bad.
looks like it runs like shit if that was it playing on a base Switch. I hope
Yeah.
it's a pro exclusive.
Yeah.
Ah,
So I could see
I-
at some point for sure that happening.
I wouldn't mind that if it was like a entirely new console, and then that console was backwards compatible. But if they just marketed it as like new Switch,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
gonna.
why I would hate that more.
Well, it would definitely be. There's no way they wouldn't let you play regular Switch games on this, right? Like,
Yeah, it'd
Yeah,
be
yeah.
backwards
That's-
compatible for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Um,
I feel like there hasn't been enough games on the Switch, like first party.
dude, the Switch has been out
It's
for like
dry.
5 years, dude. Like the Switch has been out for
Didn't
a really
it-
long time now.
It's definitely like almost is
4.
it
I think it's
4?
4. I think it's like me look really quick.
But lately it's been kind of a dry spell as far as first party. And you know, upcoming you have like your the new Pokemon, I guess. You have your
it's 4
fucking
years. Sorry.
Golf. You got your Mario Golf.
Oh, I'm gonna pick that up. That seems fun.
Yeah, it actually looks pretty sick.
That
Maybe
actually
get
looks
that
pretty
on the
tight.
plane. That'd be good on the
Yeah.
plane, right? But yeah, it's kind of a dry spell, and I'm not like super tuned into like what's going on at Nintendo, so I don't know what the
Yeah.
upcoming games look like, but I feel like it's kind of light.
Yeah,
Unless they're just
Splatoon.
saving.
Did we mention? Sorry, I was zoned out. 'cause I
No,
was reading
yeah.
The other thing, but
Yeah.
did you mention Splatoon 3? That they got that coming. They got
Okay.
Mm.
Zelda 2 coming. There's not a lot coming right now, like
Yeah, so I can
this
see them.
month or this season, but
I could see them getting like the Switch Pro stuff ready, right? And then just doing a Nintendo Direct and just like, yo, here's what, here's the Switch Pro. Here's all the details about it. Here's what our launch lineup looks like for like a year plus, right?
yeah,
Right.
Because I kind of feel like it's just up in the air with. I mean,
Totally.
there's those games, right? But I feel like those, besides Zelda, isn't like a big hitter, I guess.
Zelda would definitely, if it was like exclusive, it would sell that thing like hotcakes for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
My general thought on the alternative being that it's the same system but games run better on it is that in this like interstitial period, it's good and great, but
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever tried to play a late generation PS4 game on a base PS4, but they run like dog shit. Like
Yeah.
they eventually developers like
Mm.
focus their efforts on optimizing for the like.
PS4, yeah. Or just
I
whatever.
mean, okay,
console,
I
yeah.
will say maybe I'm just like spoiled. Maybe to some people it seems palatable, but like Control, I've seen Control running on the base PS4.
Not good.
And it's not good. It's trouble,
Yeah.
guys. And it
It's-
runs fine on the PS4 Pro.
I think because
Or- Serviceably.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't last gen, and by last gen I mean PS4, Xbox One, wasn't that like one of the longer console
Yeah.
generations, right? So
Definitely.
they had already maxed it out kind of like 5-6 years in, and it's like, we still have 2 more fucking years, dude.
Right.
So they started
making like
chugging.
improvements.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see, and I haven't seen it, Maybe I will look it up really quick and tell you how bad it is. Nah, I won't. We're doing a show. But I would like to see The Last of Us Part 2 running on the base PS4, like at launch.
Right.
That's what I
and see how
played.
that looks. How did it
Last of Us
run?
Part 2. It was better, but than Control, for example. But that's because it's multi-platform. I feel like with Last of Us Part 2, they were able to like really, really hone in because they're Sony.
I thought on the
first
Pro
party.
it worked great on the Pro.
Yeah, I
but
feel like
wasn't sure about
you
the
know maybe
base.
like loading times were like really long, but I can't think of any major hiccups that I ran into with Control. Like Control was
Right.
really just, yo, this is not good on the base PS4.
Naughty Dog is really good at optimization though.
Yeah, I
That's
think
probably
Yeah,
why.
I'm sure they. Well, I'm sure
Yeah.
they like are like right on the ground level for a lot of the like firmware and hardware stuff. So
Yeah.
because they're owned by Sony. So
Right.
anyway,
So,
we didn't
according
finish
to-
talking about what we want in this.
yeah.
There was a
yeah.
rumor.
It says
I'm holding
4K.
my
It says
holding
4K docked.
yeah 4K. Yes, 4K. I'm holding my wrist rest and I'm whapping you
I don't-
guys with it, so you'll listen to me. Bah.
I already have
I
a
want a
4K
better
TV.
screen on the
Handheld.
handheld. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that would be nice.
A bigger
A
screen
high,
for
an
sure.
OLED screen would be sick. Bigger
Yeah.
would be sick. Literally in any way better. Because
Oh,
I
no.
can't. That's the main reason I don't like playing handhelds. Because I can't see shit on the handheld screen.
Yeah,
This
true.
is never gonna happen. I want it to fold like the 3DS
To
because you
fold?
can't fit it in your pocket. At least
That's
I
true.
can't. If you could, because you know,
Yeah, you need a pair of
foldable
Jinkos to
screens.
get that in your pocket, dude. There's no way.
Because
You need like you need Carhartts with like the fucking utility pockets. There's no way. Yeah.
You just gotta get a trench coat.
I've been playing the 3DS lately, and like it's a great portable gaming device. The Switch
Yeah.
really isn't.
Isn't
No,
portable
it's
or
not.
isn't as portable as it should be. Yeah, I agree with you.
You just scratch your
I mean, I look
screen up,
like
too.
such a
Yeah.
dingus getting on a plane with my like Switch case. Looks like a goddamn briefcase. And I'm
it in
like,
your
don't worry,
backpack,
folks.
dude."
It's not a bomb. I'm an adult and it's my gaming device. Because I can't sit on a plane for 2 hours straight without a
Without
toy.
stimulating your brain. Yeah,
They
Um,
have foldable screens now, though, like the Samsung phone.
yeah, they're,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
coming
yeah.
out. I think that that technology is still too young to
Probably.
I
mass,
agree.
mass
I feel
produce it. Like it's still like a
Nintendo-
niche thing. You know what I mean?
Nintendo always does niche stuff, though.
Yeah,
True.
So it's possible.
dude.
I don't
Casper,
think they will, but
you might be on
The Switch Fold, the Switch
That would be
Flip,
cool.
the Switch Switch. I don't know.
Switch. If it fold, like, okay, now Casper, that would be fucking sick. Like it's
I
still
would get it if it folded.
Joy Cons, but it flipped up, so like the top screen isn't as
Yeah.
wide as the bottom one, but it's like whatever because it folds.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah, that'd be.
I would get it if it folded, because if yeah, if it was more portable, because that's the one thing I hate about the Switch. I actually use it more on my TV than taking it.
See,
I'm the exact opposite. I pretty much exclusively play in handheld mode.
Right.
I'm trying to think of. There's only been like a couple of occasions that I played it in docked. I don't know. I'm just.
I will.
built-
I
I'm
just don't
built
think
different.
I'm just built different. Yeah. I just. I feel like the main thing that, and they will not fix this or change this. I don't think. For me, with playing handheld, is that holding the weight of the console, the screen and all that on the Joy-Cons, the edge of the
Makes your-
Joy-Con like pushes into my palm, and I just
Oh.
don't like how it feels. Like it just doesn't. It's not a comfortable grip,
no, it's
and
not.
I always feel like I am like one sneeze away from dropping it.
or like snapping it in half.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
not in a way that like honestly even the DS was better at. Like
Yeah, it's
DS felt like it
clamshell
was a
design,
bit of
yeah.
a harder piece of technology too. I mean,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
probably mostly psychological, but it's the fact that my grip on it generally doesn't feel that steady that I feel stressed about it, which is why I prefer on the TV. But they do make like attachments for the Joy-Cons or like alternate controllers that are more like a game controller grip,
that are
like
curved,
a standard
yeah,
one.
instead of flat.
Yeah. More ergonomic and not a goddamn Nintendo Entertainment System controller with those 90-degree angles that chew into my
Dig it
the
in.
fat of my hand, dude.
I've dropped my my 2DS console so many times, and it's still chugging.
Dude,
I'm
the
afraid to
2DS
drop my Switch.
Dude, the
Oh, yeah.
2DS, now that's built diff, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Thing's
big
like That thing's like a solid fucking brick.
Yeah,
That thing's
the
crazy.
2DS plays rugby, my guy. That thing's wide. It's a linebacker for sure.
Dude, I like how
Um,
with the real quick, I like how the 2DS is just flat. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just-
Fold.
so I don't know.
Yeah, but it works for people.
Nah, it totally works. Yeah.
All right. Any other features you want on the Switch Pro?
I don't know.
I
We
can't
pretty
think of any.
we pretty much summed it up. Like, it's probably definitely gonna have 4K output to the TV.
Probably
gonna have a
definitely.
big screen.
How many people
OLED.
even have 4K TVs?
I
don't
do.
have a 4K. Oh,
I do
okay.
now.
Do you
I
have a
mean,
console that can output to 4K?
I have a no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like,
Because the
I
PS4 base can't.
Yeah.
And the
I got
Xbox
it,
One base or whatever can't.
I got it in preparation for the PS5. So that was kind of, and like they just hit that point where it's like, okay, it's affordable for like Black Friday for the
You guys want to hear
4K.
something
So
fucking stupid?
like,
When
what
I
is it?
was 19,
Oh,
I thought 4K TVs were I maybe even said this on the podcast. I don't
I think
know.
you did.
I've
I
told
love hearing
Kody
it, though.
this, I think.
I love hearing it.
When I was like 19, I did this internship and I got paid in a stipend at the end. And I thought for sure that 4K TVs were not going to get any cheaper, that they were the future. And I bought a 4K TV for like $1,300 or something.
Yeah.
And it's
How
a piece
big?
of shit now. It's like, I don't know, it's like 44 inches. Not small, not a
Okay.
small TV.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But it like is just the refresh rate sucks. Like it is in every metric a significantly worse TV that you could get.
Well, it must have been like the
then-
first generation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right. But
Yeah.
like here's like the monkey paw curls one finger because I spend all this money and I'm like, I'm gonna watch 4K content. There's no
Nothing's
fucking
out.
4K content in 2015, guys. I don't know if
Yeah.
you realized that. I certainly didn't realize it. I was like, oh yeah, I don't know, watch like YouTube. There's no 4K YouTube
Nah,
videos. There's no
'cause-
games aren't in 4K yet.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. People have
It
to
was
film
bad.
stuff in 4K for yeah, yeah.
I got the PS4 Pro pretty much as soon as it came out, just so I could be like, finally, I can use my 4K TV. It's really dumb, super dumb. I had buyer's remorse like 2 weeks later, but I also needed a TV,
Yeah.
and I thought it can't be that many years before the technology catches up. I had that TV for 3 years before I got a 4K thing on it.
That's so funny, dude.
Yeah,
I love
sucks.
that.
Sucks to be me. I don't know,
Yeah.
guys. I think that's gonna do it. I think that's gonna do it for our show. Thank you, listeners, for listening to episode 17 of Any Percent. Want to thank Kody Mosley for joining us.
See you
as
later, Evan.
always. Yeah. Listen, I plug your name so that it becomes a household name. Someday people will be like, "That's so Kody Mosley of you," and I don't know what that will be, but it will be. And that'll
Hopefully
be
a
good.
thing.
Hopefully a good thing. I want to thank Casper Karen for joining us on the show. Little announcement, Casper will be taking the next 2 shows off. He's going on sabbatical. So it's just going to be me and Kody and a guest, or perhaps even 2 to kind of fill out the show. We'll see. So that remains to be seen exactly what form that'll take, though. Kody... Well, technically it's Casper's pick, but we picked without Casper because he is not, as I said, joining us. Kody,
Yeah.
what is next time's game?
Yeah, so we're gonna play Spec Ops: The Line, a well-regarded third-person shooter
Mhm.
about war and how bad war is, I guess.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's supposedly very good. I've played a
Yeah,
little
the
bit of it.
writing is supposed to be really good in this one. So.
Yeah, I've heard it has similar kind of plays that kind of like does similar things that BioShock does with players being forced to do things, and maybe this one takes it into some more interesting moral directions. So we'll see. I'm excited. We'll try to get someone on the show for that. So look forward to that, my dear listener. And with that, I bid you adieu.